All right, and we are live for another Wednesday webinar here. My name is Curtis Silva. I am the social and digital media manager here at My Credit Guy. And today we just want to talk to you guys a little bit about why your Credit Karma scores are a little bit different than the other scores you might see. So first, I want to introduce you guys to the guests we have. Number one here is Marcia Kripe. She is one of our credit coach managers. In other words, she doesn't only just help people improve their credit, she teaches other people how to teach people to improve their credit. So she's like the expert of the experts. And in addition to that, we also have Brett Robinson here. Brett is new to My Credit Guy. He is in charge of our credit education, and he's also the point of contact for our vets who need help with their credit. How are you guys doing today? How's your day going so far?
Good.
Great.
Having a good. I got to put
Right
on my
on.
chapstick. I'm excited about it.
Put on your chapstick.
I
Yeah.
get my lips
Gotta
looking
have-
glossy. What's up, Marcia? Good to see you.
Good to
That's
see you
right,
too.
that's right.
Hey, friend. How you doing, Curtis? Curtis, your hair is beautiful as always, brother. Beautiful
Thank you, man.
as
Thank you.
always, my man. Anybody's watching,
Appreciate
just
that.
look at that hair. That's why I wear a hat. I wear a hat all the time. My hair is. I'm a little older than Curtis, but that's why I have a hat on. I should be getting my Credit Guy hat in the mail here shortly. So I'm excited about that. So I have a new thing to
on.
cover my hair that's leaving my body. Hey, Cassandra,
I
I'm
love
watching
it.
on my phone too because I like to interact with the guests. So what's going on? What are we talking about today?
Right. So today, like I mentioned, we're talking about Credit Karma. You know, a lot of us have used Credit Karma in the past or something similar to Credit Karma. If you don't know what Credit Karma is, it's basically just a soft pull service essentially. And Marsha's going to correct me on anything I kind of goof up here because we're going to transition over to her since she's the expert. So yeah, Marsha, can you tell us, you know, a little bit about like kind of why Credit Karma scores are different than like the score your lender would see? Like we hear a lot that, you know, people say like my Credit Karma score showed this, but my lender says it was this. Like, can you walk us through that? Maybe just like bring some light to that for us.
Absolutely. So they're just different scoring algorithms. So when you go to your lender and have a lender pull credit, they're actually pulling what's known as a FICO score. And versus when you go to Credit Karma, they're using a Vantage scoring algorithm. So it's the same data, it's just a difference in how it's pulling in those scores and configuring those scores. So I've seen them be higher and I've seen them be lower when it comes to the difference between Credit Karma and FICO scores. So
Yeah.
huge difference.
Yeah, and Curtis, Credit Karma only uses TransUnion and what was it, Marcia Equifax, right? They only use
Mhm.
TransUnion and Equifax to help them with their own algorithm that helps them, but they use Vantage Score 3.0, and we maybe talk about that later on. But like the biggest credit bureau or credit reporting agency isn't even on there, right? It's not even like you know, Experian's the biggest, and they don't even mess with Credit Karma because they have their own service that they provide people, right? So it's all a business, and you know, Credit Karma is here to, you know, they offer free, but remember, free, nothing in life is free. So we're giving them our information, our spending habits, all of our personal data, and then they are in turn selling it to everyone else who wants to give us credit cards, loans, all that good stuff. So I know I was sitting with Marcia last week and we were doing some training, and we had a guy and he was saying that she was talking about the importance of credit monitoring. And he told her, he said, well, why do I need that? I have Credit Karma. And me and Marcia, we just kind of laughed, you know, we just kind of snickered, and we're like, well, here's the difference between true credit monitoring and what Credit Karma is doing, right? Like you're missing out on all three of the major credit reporting agencies when you're only relying on Credit Karma.
That's important. I think that's interesting there, but because like what is the difference between like Credit Karma and credit monitoring? Or Marsha, I guess, do either of you guys have a good answer for that?
So
I think a lot of
like I
people
know,
don't quite know.
So I know with Identity IQ, what it does is it allows us to be able to view all three credit bureaus once a month, so we can get a good look at how everything's sitting. Not so much the scores, it gives you scores as well, but again, those aren't the FICO scores that your lender would pull. So we are looking more at the data that's on your credit report, and as that information is getting cleaned up, your scores are going to come. So it's really just a matter of knowing what to look for and being able to watch for that, making sure that things are going in the right direction.
Exactly. And listen to the knowledge that lady's bringing. She's bringing that heat today. There's another thing. It's like your FICO score is analyzing millions and millions and millions of pieces of data, right? Like FICO goes back, right? FICO is going way back, like probably when you were maybe making some bad decisions in your life, right? Like they go back. They want to look inside. They're the ones who, like, you want a home, they go into your FICO score, right, Marsha? Like they're like, before we give you $300,000, to buy this house, we need to look inside your closet, right? Like Credit Karma, they're not looking inside your closet like that, right? They're looking around, lately. What have you been up to, kind of lately type deal, and then they're compiling their own information to give you that Vantage score that they use, So the FICO score is going to be way more deeper. A deeper dive into your credit history. And another thing I noticed is a lot of people say my Credit Karma says my credit score is, right, Marsha? Mm-hmm. Credit Karma said I'm at a 700. You got a bunch of different credit scores out there, by the way, people, right? Like we got a lot of credit scores out there. It just depends on who we're talking to and what we're looking for and what we're looking to finance or what we're looking to purchase, right? Like there's all these different. The top three aren't even the only three in the world, right? Like we have other credit reporting agencies in the country. Those are just the three biggest, right? So I think Credit Karma, I use them. I use them. I don't mind them because I just kind of like to keep an eye on everything. I don't want to see what everybody has to say about me, but it's not accurate. I literally have a 40-point difference in my Equifax score on Credit Karma versus my Equifax rate. I do have credit monitoring through all three credit reporting agencies, and I like to see how they line up because it helps me talk to people and educate people about this subject. So I want to go through it just like they would go through it. So, but it's not the most accurate score. Marsha can attest to how many people say they got a higher score on Credit Karma, and then when we look through that report, right? What'd you find out, Marsha?
It definitely can be a huge difference. I've seen anywhere from 5 to 100-point difference. So
to 100-point difference. That yeah. So it might be a little bit of a security blanket when you're walking into our program, but what I know Marsha does so amazingly is sat with the lady for days upon days, and she explains what we're going to do to make sure they have the most accurate credit score, that we could possibly get, truly clean things up, truly get rid of some bad information and helps them through that process. So we are definitely here for the education, and that's what I love about this company.
The other thing that I think is really important when people are watching Credit Karma is not just where their scores are, because like if you're in the program with us in the middle of disputing, you're going to see your scores, what I call roller coaster. Just as disputes are being moved in and out of that algorithm, your scores, like with Credit Karma, don't have the ability to recognize that those are in dispute. And so when accounts are being put back in, it will lower the score. And then when they're pulled back out, then they, help falsely increase your score. So definitely something to think about when you're working on those as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Credit Karma updates weekly, isn't that right? I've heard that.
2 weeks.
And from what I understand,
every 2 weeks,
is it 2 weeks?
Every 2 weeks, yes, sir. Every 2 weeks, Credit Karma.
And from what I understand, the bureaus update like every 30 to 35 days, right? So that means like there's a big gap right there, from the get-go that
so
they're
usually
updating a score, and it's.
Usually the credit bureaus are going to update when those creditors are updating them. So once that creditor sends them their updated information, which is usually once a month, sometimes some creditors do more than once a month, but typically we're looking at one time a month that they're updating, then that's whatever day that is, that specific account on your credit report is going to update. So it just changes throughout the month.
Gotcha. Gotcha. And another thing that this just popped into my head, because it's like we keep saying FICO, like FICO this, FICO that. I've heard there are like a bunch of different types of FICO. So like when you guys say like lender FICO, like what, like I'm lost there. Because like if there are different types of FICO and like I don't know, like I don't even could you shed some light on that, Marcia?
So there are multiple different FICO scores. I think there's actually like close to 50 different scores out there as far as what you're looking at. So multiple, and they're different for like auto loans versus home loans versus credit cards, depending on what you're applying for is the difference in those. And I know mortgages tend to go to a couple specifically, but they're always changing. So I hate to give like a specific number just because they're always changing. Really, if you're looking for that mortgage, I do recommend that you reach out to your lender and make sure, one, if you're working with us, make sure it's a good time to have credit pulled. But if you aren't working with us and you're wanting to know and you're looking for a mortgage, really your best bet's going to be go to that lender to have them pull.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Boom.
Um,
Marsha be on top of her stuff, huh? Telling you, this lady, she knows so much, man. She taught me a lot, man. Yeah. So, and like right now, I think what lenders primarily is the FICO 8, Marsha, like right, like FICO 8 is the most popular FICO score algorithm out there.
So FICO 8 is more what you're going to find like online.
Yeah.
I think, and again, don't quote me because they change all the time, but I
Right.
think you're looking more towards like 4 or 5 and 2 probably.
Yeah.
But again, they change so frequently that you don't know
Yeah.
until you actually get to that point.
Yeah, and that's the thing about credit, Curtis, and that's why like we, not only are we, credit restoration company, we also want to, help people with education, because when you realize like, oh, FICO is not one, it's no, they're like Mark, there's like 50 different algorithms for your FICO score. It just depends on like these companies. We got to keep in mind these companies pay to have a credit report done on you. So they have to go and pay for that service. So they select the credit reporting agency that they want to do business with, what algorithm that, like what matters to them. Like home, the mortgage industry has underwriting laws, right? And whether it's FHA or conventional or VA loan, they all have their underwriting rules, right? Their underwriting laws. So they have to go to certain areas of the credit reporting agencies to get what they need to give you the money. And a house may be different from going to get a boat, or a boat may be different from going to get a motorcycle. A motorcycle may be different from going to get furniture, right? You know what I mean? So, or student loans may be different from your medical debt and whatnot. So just keep that in mind. It's who you're in debt to. That's who you're, that's however they rate you that's what it is right there. It's who you're doing
so your
business
score
with.
could really.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So your score
that's
could,
why it's so important.
Could be different depending on the lender then.
Right. That's why it's so important to pay attention when you get that letter in the mail about your credit decision. Like, see what they gauge as what they decided for yes or no, right? See what they use to approve or not approve you. And then, that maybe is a question for Mark, like your credit coach, like, hey, I was denied recently for this credit because they said, and then maybe work with your credit coach on that. Make that one of your goals. If you're trying to, everybody that comes to us doesn't want to buy a house. That's our most popular customer, of course, but some people want to own a Ducati motorcycle. You know what I mean? Like, I need to get Ducati's money. Who does Ducati get their credit information from, right? Who do they use? Who I want my motorcycle through them. So you want to kind of start. It's like getting ready for a game, right? You want to start getting your ducks in a row to go see that Ducati dealership, or am I saying it right? I don't make enough money for a Ducati, right?
Are you a motorcycle guy, Brett?
I'm
Are you a
not.
motorcycle guy?
I have,
No,
listen, I have
I'm wondering why that popped into your head. That's funny.
I have 2 little kids, and my wife would never let me get on a motorcycle because she's like, you're going to suffer through this thing with me. You know what I mean? She don't want to be a single parent one day. So that's the only reason she keeps me around. We got twins. She can't raise them by herself. So we could laugh. That's funny. You guys know I used to do stand-up comedy. Anyways, yeah. So, but yeah, it all depends on who you're dealing with. So just always remember that. Like, I've been denied for things, and you take it personal. You're like, what? No, like I got a little money. I got a good credit score. But no, you don't have one good credit. You got a bunch of credit scores. You got a lot of information out there floating around the country about how you spend your money. Carrying money on a credit card for a very long time, maybe a higher than usual balance for a long time might matter differently to someone that you're going to buy a home from versus who you're going to go buy some furniture from. That the furniture people may be like, oh, that's all good. We're not worried about that. We're worried about, do you have the money to pay the bills, right? Your debt to income ratio may not matter as much to them as it matters to a home lender. So, but that's why there's so many different credit scores out there. And hey, they make money off of us. A lot of Experian, they got like 20,000 employees, like TransUnion, Equa, they got like 15, 16, 17,000 people that work for them. So credit is a big business. It's a big business, and our data is a big business, right? Like, look at Facebook, right? Like, we on Facebook right now. Facebook, don't shut me down. I love you. But we are trading our information for their service, what's the scariest thing with Credit Karma was when I signed up for it, it took me like a minute, and like 2 minutes later, I had some data about me financially, and I was like, where'd I get this from that fast? Like, who do you know? I mean, I was expecting in a couple days or so I'd get a credit, a little credit breakdown. No, it was on my phone like 2 minutes later, and I just put my social security and my address, and they were like, "Is this you? Is this you, Brett?" I was like, "Whoa, it's scary, man. It's scary." So. But yeah. So, I don't buy Credit Karma personally. But I don't use it to gauge your credit worthiness. Use it as a tool to help you, either monitor, but understand what they're monitoring, right? They're not monitoring everything, or to, just use it to help you get better. I'm gonna be quiet right now. Let Marsha get back on here and share her expertise.
It's definitely a tool that you can use just to be able to watch everything, but just make sure that you're not putting too much stock into the scores for your mortgage purposes. That would be my biggest.
I knew she would say it better than me. See, Curtis, she is on top of her game always, man. I knew she would say it better than me.
So are there any alternatives you guys would suggest to, like, I don't know if you want like a better look at your score, or is really just like the best option to go to your lender and be hey, you tell me my score?
The best option is directly to those credit reporting agencies. Go directly to them, and don't pay. Like they have a free product for us. Like, all 3 of the major credit reporting agencies have a product for you to monitor your credit with them directly. Now they'll try to upcharge you for identity theft protection and everything like that. Nobody's paying me any money except my credit guy, so I'm not advertising their products. But yes, I would go. My advice is to go straight to them. We offer a product. Marsha can tell you about our product that we partner with them. But besides our product that we, of course, recommend.
And that's credit monitoring, Marsha, right? You said Identity IQ.
Yep. So the Identity IQ allows us to view all 3 bureaus, and with the link that we have, it's $19.99 a month. That allows us to see all 3 bureaus, so we can really get a good picture of how things look that once a month, to be able to get you an update on how things are looking and what we need to move towards and work at next.
Yeah. when I first started working with the company, I signed up with them. And what I like about them is they compile all three of them on one nice little product. It's really easy to read and it's really easy to navigate through. And so instead of going to each individual agency and having to get three different products, you know, that Identity IQ just puts it all in one place and they bundle it up really nice and easy to read for you. So I definitely would for credit monitoring, I'm using them now. But I didn't know about them until I came to the company. So I'm glad I discovered them.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And if somebody wants to, like, so to me, credit monitoring sounds more of like a long-term plan to be able to kind of stay in tune with your credit. Do people ever use Identity IQ for like a short-term solution, or like, hey, like I want my data just for the next like couple months, or do people use it both ways, like short-term and long-term, or what does that look like?
Absolutely. So we have some clients that just use it while they're in the program, just so we can have that data right at our fingertips and be able to see that information. There's others that want to keep it throughout the program or through even after, because they like it so much and they like to know what's going on at all times on their credit.
Yeah, I think Marcia can attest, like once people go through our program, like they become fans of like credit, right? Like they're more empowered, they're more educated, and they're more enthused about the topic. Where, you know, when they came to us, maybe they were a little beat up or whatnot, and now they're like, oh man, I'm seeing my credit go up. I need to keep my eye on this from now on, right? Like I never even knew you could lock your credit file. You know, you can lock down your credit file. So when you're not using your credit, you know, when you're just doing your utilization and you're keeping your eye on your utilization rate, lock your credit down if you know you're not going to make any inquiries or anything. Now, don't lock it down when you're working with us, but this is after you find your success that you're looking for with us, of course. But I know when I'm talking to people, just the I want to call it a cloud, right, Marshall? Like the cloud in front of credit, right? Or like the little, you know, fog of credit. We call it maybe the fog of credit. It just, people don't know. They know bits and pieces, right? They're like, well, just carry a zero balance and you'll have 800 or get 8, you know, and you're like, well, 800 not even the highest score. I got into an argument about the highest score you can get in credit not too long ago, which was really funny. But somebody said 800 is the absolute, you can't get higher. So I was like, yes, you can. But anyways, but I just think that's what I love about what we're doing is we're putting things out there for people to eat up and absorb and say, hey, listen, if you know, keep this up, keep these good habits up. Bad habits may have brought you here, but the good habits are going to lead you to success and help you maintain that success. Absolutely. And you're learning those good habits when you're working with us, when you have an amazing credit coach like Marsha, who's getting you on track, man, kicking you in the butt a little bit, you know, and just saying, hey, if you just stop doing that, or if you got that paid down, or if you took a look at how this looks right now, imagine how this would look in 5 months from now. You know, I love it when someone comes and they're like, I want to buy a house in a year, right, Marsha? Like, you're like, oh, great. Right. We got time to take you to the shop, get the dents out. Right. You know what I mean? And we're going to roll you back out, put you on the street looking shiny, you know? So that's what, like, man, that's the joy in the job, in the, like, we're just here to help people. Like, we literally exist.
We do have a question here. I don't want to miss it before we get away from it, but somebody has a question for Marsha here. Jesse has a question. If someone is working through credit repair with the goal of buying a home, is it important to be connected with a lender or a loan officer? Or if somebody doesn't have a lender lined up, like, can you help with that? Or how does that, can you talk about that at all, Marsha? Having a lender?
Yeah. So if someone does not have a lender that they're currently working with, they can definitely, we have many different resources that we can get them in touch with someone that's going to be more than happy to help get them, you know, through the process with us and help them every step of the way. You know, we work hand in hand with our lenders. So it's really a huge, almost like a family, right? Like we all want to get you to that end goal. So we're all going to work together to get you there. So it's definitely important to have one. And if you don't, we can definitely help with that.
Yeah. Yeah. We're here to serve and we're here to help, you know, and That's what I really enjoy about this company is they stand by what they advertise. We just definitely want to see people as best off as they possibly can be. And I think I always, go by you don't know what you don't know, right? So you don't know what to work on or what to improve if you don't know about credit and how it's to be utilized and how you should be utilizing it. And I always thought the goal of a credit card was to spend it, charge it all the way up to the top, to the limit, right? I was like, I'm going to get as much stuff as possible on this credit card, and then I could take 10 years to pay it off, and I'll look like Puff Daddy, living my life. I got gold chains and Tommy Hilfiger and all that. But no, that's not how you're supposed to use credit cards, ladies and gentlemen.
That didn't work out for you, Brett?
No, it didn't work out, man. Hey, no, I joke about it. I said I only stayed 20 years in the Air Force because I owed too much money to people. You know what I mean? I had to keep re-upping. I was like, I'm not out of debt yet. I got to do 4 more years. I had to get out of credit jail. But definitely credit is definitely a near and dear to my heart. It's something that I want to teach my children and make sure they're armed with knowledge that I never possessed. I did a Facebook Live last week where I yelled at my dad for a minute and I was like, oh, let me calm down. But I gave my dad the business for 1 minute because he never taught me about this stuff, So I love my dad to death, by the way, but I don't want to be that father that's just hoping credit, like literally I would, I hope credit works out for me, right? I hope I'm doing the right thing to make that magic number. I hope the credit God is blessing me. I hope I've prayed and done enough to satisfy the credit gods, like this mysterious credit God, I hope
that's why we're here though. That's,
we can, help solve the mystery of credit here and what we do every day. And, I'm fortunate. I was fortunate enough to spend time with Marsha and really have her show me a lot of things that she, walks through clients with and does with clients. And it's really I love the way this company's set up because she is dedicated to you. She gets up and looks and says, do we need to be talking today? And if so, I'm gonna reach out and touch you, right? Hey, we just got this back. I thought we talked about this. What happened to that? What happened to this strategy? And she just that reminder of hey, stay on task. If getting a house is your goal, if owning a home is your goal in life, make that your goal. Make that your goal. I was sitting with Cassandra the other day, and a client was talking about he wanted to buy a house by the summer. But then he talked about everything else he needed to buy. He got to buy his children a car. Him and his wife want to take care of a credit card and not blah, and he was just throwing all these scenarios at her. And she's like, I thought you wanted to buy a house, right? If you want to buy a house, that's what you and your credit coach are going to sit down and make a strategy together and plan a strategy so you will be in a house by the summer. Okay. And that's what we want to do. We want to make your goal and help us and let us help you get there, and that's what I love about the credit coaching job here at My Credit Guy is that they're here to help you achieve your goals. Don't fight them. Don't not listen to them. These people do this every day. Marsha is a freaking fountain of knowledge that has taught me a lot in such a short time. So we're here to help you achieve your goals. And Credit Karma is all right. It's all right. It's all right. But it's not the most accurate thing out there. Just because it's not pulling the information that you may need to accomplish your goals. So that's Credit Karma.
You are, Brett.
Now I got Credit Karma. If they're listening, don't be doing nothing to my credit Karma.
Thank you for that, Brett, and thank you, Marsha, both for your time. You guys shared a lot of really valuable information. I hope some people were able to soak up some of the advice and insight you both were able to share. For those of you who are listening or watching this later on, reach out to us if you need any
Absolutely.
help.
Please
hit us up on Facebook. We have use the chat.
Our email
reach out
address
to
is
us.
real easy, right?
Give us a
Curtis?
call or email us.
Our
You know, we're
email
here to
address,
help.
Marsha at mycreditguy.com. I'm Brett with 2 T's.
That's me. Yep.
I'm Brett with 2 T's. I'm not Brett with 1 T. Whoever is a Brett with 1 T, you need to change your name because that's not the right way to spell Brett. Anyways, it's Brett with 2 T's at mycreditguy.com. But yeah, we're here to help. And you know, thanks for having us, Curtis, and your wonderful hair of yours. I hope my kids grow up to have hair like you, man. They're gonna do well in life. They look at that hair, Marshall. Ain't that beautiful?
Gorgeous, Curtis.
Well, thank you.
It's gorgeous.
Thank you for the compliments as well as your time. And I'm sure at some point we will have both of you back on. We'll probably be seeing more of Brett actually moving forward.
Hey.
So yeah, if you like Brett, which I like Brett, I hope you like Brett too. You'll be seeing more of him moving forward on these webinars. So thank you guys again, and hope everybody has a fantastic day.
Bye, Marsha.
Bye, Brett.